Welcome to Revenge Tales.
Expedia thought I'd give up. They thought I was just another customer who'd quietly eat the loss, forget about the missing credit, and move on. They were wrong. Because after 4 years of lies, stonewalling, and corporate gaslighting, I dragged them into court, and I won. Stick around, because this isn't just my revenge story, it's a blueprint for how anyone can take down $1 billion company that thinks they're untouchable. If you've ever been ripped off by a company that thought they could bully you into silence, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this story will make every bone in your body crave justice. It all started back in 2021. I had booked a flight through Expedia, British Airways, round trip, around $935.67. Then COVID hit, flights were canceled, chaos everywhere. Expedia promised me a flight credit. Don't worry, they said. You can use it anytime before September 30th, 2025. At first, I was relieved. Okay, fine, I'd just use the credit later. But then, every time I tried to use it, something felt off. The same flight, the same destination, suddenly cost 2 to 3 times higher if I tried to use the credit. And I searched as a regular customer. It was $900, but the moment I logged in and tried to redeem my credit, the price would jump to nearly $2,000. It wasn't a glitch. It was like Expedia was punishing me for using what they owed me. Imagine standing at a checkout counter and the cashier doubles the price because you're paying with a gift card. That's what it felt like, deliberate, manipulative, infuriating. Fast forward to June 2025. I log in to check the credit again, and it's gone. Just gone. No warning, no email, no expiration notice. When I contacted customer service, I made sure to have every piece of evidence ready, screenshots, emails, everything. But every agent I spoke to, one after another, denied the credit had ever existed. I'm sorry, sir. I don't see any record of that booking. Maybe you're mistaken. We can't verify that. Those lines still echo in my head. The tone wasn't apologetic. It was condescending. Like I was some idiot who didn't understand how their own website worked. But I had written proof from Expedia themselves, their own emails confirming that credit. They didn't care. Every call ended the same way. Empty promises to escalate it, then silence. That's when something in me snapped. I filed complaints with everyone. The Better Business Bureau, my state's Attorney General, the Department of Transportation, and even the Federal Trade Commission. Still, Expedia lied. They told the Attorney General's office that they had no record of my booking or any flight credit, a complete fabrication. That's when I realized. They didn't just want to ignore me, they wanted to erase me. So, I decided to make myself unerasable. I found the emails of Expedia's CEO, Chief of Staff, and Chief of Global Operations. I sent a formal demand, detailing everything, dates, proof, screenshots, complaint numbers. Suddenly, everything changed. Within days, I was contacted by a department I didn't even know existed, Expedia's Global Traveler Resolutions Team. Sounds impressive, right? Like a team of elite problem solvers. In reality, it was a squad of professional gaslighters. They gave me 5 different explanations of British Airways book with confidence policy, none of which matched the airline's actual rules. When I fact-checked with British Airways themselves, I found out Expedia was lying, repeatedly. I sent them proof, official confirmations, documentation from a consumer advocacy group, and you know what they did? They hung up, ignored my emails, closed my case. They were hoping I'd just break. That was the moment, the quiet, crystal clear moment when I decided I wasn't begging anymore. If Expedia wanted to play games, I was going to change the rules. I filed a lawsuit in small claims court representing myself. My claims were simple but devastating. Breach of contract for erasing the credit early. Omission of material facts for not warning me before they purged it. Unfair practices for inflating prices and forcing me to spend new funds. Deception and misrepresentation for lying to the Attorney General and BBB. They tried to stall. They refused to hand over call recordings, saying they were overwritten after 90 days, even though my request was just 2 weeks after those calls. It was obvious they were hiding evidence. A month after getting the lawsuit notice, Expedia's legal department suddenly offered me the full refund, the $935.67, but no court costs, no admission of wrongdoing. They wanted me to just go away quietly. I declined. Because at that point, it wasn't about the money anymore. It was about accountability. 2 days before the hearing, their lawyer called me again. Same offer, same attempt to buy my silence. I declined again. So, on October 8, 2025, I walked into my local courthouse with the binder in my hands, labeled, tabbed, organized. One binder for the judge, one for their lawyer, one for me. Their attorney walked in with nothing but a briefcase and a smirk. Before the hearing started, he leaned toward me and said, "You know, there are no laws that entitle you to court costs in a case like this." He was trying to intimidate me. He looked confident, arrogant. That special kind of arrogance you only see from someone who's been winning too long. Then the judge walked in. I watched as the lawyer fumbled through the binder I'd prepared, flipping through the pages like he was seeing everything for the first time. Because he was. Most of my evidence came from Expedia's own emails. He tried to argue that Expedia didn't owe me the flight credit, that it was all a misunderstanding, but the judge wasn't buying it. When it was my turn to speak, I laid it all out, calmly, clearly, and with every document to back it up. By the end, the room was silent. The judge looked over the papers one last time, then said, "Judgment for the plaintiff, full amount, plus court costs. That's it." 4 years of corporate lies, denials, and manipulation ended in one sentence. I didn't gloat, I didn't cheer, but when I stepped outside that courtroom, the air felt different. Lighter, cleaner, because justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just signs a piece of paper. Here's the truth. Expedia, and companies like them, rely on one thing: that you'll give up. They build entire systems around delay, confusion, and exhaustion, hoping you'll run out of energy before they run out of lies. But small claims court, that's your equalizer. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need to be rich. You just need to be persistent and organized. So if you ever find yourself in a fight like this, remember, document everything, every email, every screenshot, every chat log. File complaints with the BBB, the Attorney General, the DOT, and the FTC. It builds a paper trail. And if they still won't make it right, take them to court. That's what they don't expect. Because when you do, they lose their power. Expedia's lawyer walked out of that courtroom red-faced, clutching the same binder he had tried to dismiss me with. The judge's signature was barely dry, but I could already feel it, that deep, bone-level satisfaction that comes when justice finally wins. I wasn't just some voice on hold anymore. I was the reason a billion-dollar company got a public judgment against them. And that's worth more than any refund. Revenge isn't always about hurting someone back. Sometimes it's about standing tall when they expect you to crawl, and forcing the world to write down, in ink, that you were right. That's real power. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button, and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying case of justice you've ever seen? And remember, subscribe for more true stories of revenge, karma, and poetic payback, because sometimes the little guy wins